Well, good morning everyone. Back out here, cruising out into the fog. Definitely need my navionics or my navigation today. Yeah, I can barely see the land and I just left the harbor. So once we get out to the fishing grounds, at least for now, it's gonna be just pure fog. We won't be able to see anything. So super important to have my GPS at times like this. Really should have it all the time just in case. But anyway, we're headed out, gonna go do some fishing, look for a species that I've never caught on film before. So hopefully we can make it happen today. I'm already marking some bait out here, which is a good sign. I've tried to catch a species a few times, but I've been unsuccessful so far. So hopefully today we can make it happen. We're gonna put in a full day's work and have some new gear that I'm one, excited to use, and two, excited to show you all. I think I'm gonna fish 150 feet and deeper. So yeah, it's gonna be some interesting fishing, maybe some fish that I've never caught before. Never really know what you're gonna find when you're out fishing deep, I feel like. First off, I'm gonna tie on this rock cod squirt, even though we're not fishing for rock cod, but I'll tell you why I'm using this here in a second. But basically what this is just a little double hook rig. If you were fishing for rockfish, this would be a perfect little setup for you. You can tip it with squid if you think the bite's gonna be tough. A lot of different companies make these. This particular one's from Pomar, and it's kind of like a high-low rig, but with these little squid skirts on there. And we are today going to be tipping those with squid because I brought some with me. I brought with me some frozen squid that I caught on a previous mission earlier this year. So what I'm going to do with these is chop them up. I'm just going to cut little strips and then tip these fake squids with real squid. And like I said, I've tried to catch these fish before, but the reason why I'm using this rig is when I've tried it before, I caught too many small fish. There was a bunch of like sand dabs and little baby rockfish that were stealing my bait. So I think that these bigger hooks will hopefully prevent any of those from coming out, and hopefully the target species will have a chance to find my bait and eventually eat it. I'm just gonna hook this squid through a couple of times just to make sure it stays on the hook good. And that's what it looks like. Put the tentacles on the bottom one and a little strip on the top. And I'm gonna put, I think, a 10-ounce weight on this because we're fishing so deep. I want to make sure this gets to the bottom fairly quickly and easily. So a little bit of a heavy weight, but that's what we need. Okay, now we drop this down. So this is what that looks like. This is the pink squid. They also come in different colors. But anyways, I'm gonna drop this down to the bottom. And as you can see, I have this new reel here, which is attached to this thing, which is a battery, meaning that this is an electric reel.
This is the Piscifun Atlantic's 1500 electric reel. It's super lightweight and compact, coming in at just 17 ounces. And when paired with this long-lasting battery, also from Piscifun, it supports 180 drops on a single charge, with a 14-ounce lure at 165 feet depth. This reel features a 4.3:1 gear ratio, 11 ball bearings, and has a max drag of 15 pounds. For more information or to purchase one for yourself, click the link down in the description. Thank you to Piscifun for sponsoring this video.
It's probably the easiest line spooling of all time. With this reel here, we're going to be able to, make sure my drag's good, we're going to be able to drop this down to the bottom. And dropping it doesn't really make a difference, either if it's electric or conventional reel. But coming up is going to be way easier this time than the previous times that I've done this. Anything more than like even 100 feet can be tough to go up and down, up and down, up and down. But we're currently in 345. I've drifted a little bit deeper than when I started this drift. So I might have to reel up and head back over there. But anyway, we're gonna drop this down. I think I put 450 yards or 450 feet of 65-pound braid on this. So we should be able to reach the bottom, but it's gonna be close. 280, 290. I don't know if I've ever fished this deep before. 300, okay, we're getting close. shoot, we're too deep. I put 412 feet of line on here, 65-pound braid, and it's not reaching the bottom. We're gonna have to crank this up, but luckily we have the electric reel, so this would be a good chance for me to showcase its capabilities. So it basically has this lever here, and you could reel it conventionally too if you wanted, which we're gonna have to do at the end. But basically with this lever, you can go just turn it on, and boom, it does all the cranking for you. This is on max speed right now. This is going pretty fast. I mean, it's about 7 or 8 feet per second. Probably faster than I would be able to just cranking. But this way, I could even just put it in the holder here. Boom. It's doing all the work for me. You can see there, I am not doing anything. But anyway, let's go ahead and do a little bit shallower water where we can actually reach the bottom and see if we can find us some fish. All right, let's try this again. So now we're at 224 feet of water. There we go. All right. We're on the bottom. Gonna let the squid do its magic. And if it gets hit, we'll turn this thing on and crank them in. Definitely getting nibbles. Hoping with these bigger hooks, those little sand dabs, they'll just nibble at it, but you know, they won't get hooked. Hopefully the bait stays on there, and then the bigger fish can come around and they'll have a shot at it. I think we got something. All right, turn it on and let the electric reel do the work. Oh, kind of what I expected, a little sand dab. These are the ones we're trying to avoid, but they're definitely going to be down there. If they're big enough, we'll keep them, but this one, a little bit too small, I think. All right, back down. Oh my God. There we go. Oh, that looks a little bit better. I'm gonna rewind it up slowly. Oh, there's something on there. Pull it out of the holder. Got something. I feel like it's a little better than a sand dab. We'll see what it is. The nice thing about this reel is even though it's on electric, I mean all electric reels are like this, but even though it's winding in electrically, the drag still works. So if this fish, I don't think it's strong enough to pull drag, but if it was and it went on a run, basically the drag works the same as if you were reeling normally. Alright, it's approaching. Oh, dang it. Not what we're looking for. But luckily, for this guy, I have my descender ready to go. So I have right over to my right here, I set this up today because I thought we might need it, and that's exactly what we do. So this is now required for any time you're targeting rockfish, and today we're not targeting rockfish, but I thought there was a chance that we might get some by accident. So as you can see, this guy's severely bloated from barotrauma. So I'm gonna hook up that descending device there, and then I'll drop this thing down. I'm probably gonna have to drop it pretty close to the bottom for him to regain equilibrium. Basically what happens is at the bottom of the ocean where that guy just came from, there's very high pressure. You know, everything's pushing in on you because it's so deep down there. And when we bring them to the surface, their pressure alleviates and all of their organs and everything just like kind of bloats up like that. So this year is the first year that California now requires these descending devices when targeting rockfish. And even though I'm not targeting rockfish today, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to bring it out here and use it. So if you plan on targeting rockfish at any time this year, you have to get one by law. So I'll leave a link down in the description. They're super cheap. This particular one is a 2-pack for like $18 or maybe even $16 with the promo code. So anyway, it basically just drops them back down to where they can regain equilibrium. That's pretty close to the bottom there. Just give it a little yank. Yep, I think that thing came off. And that gives the rockfish the best chance of survival. Alright, and you can see when we bring it back up, the rockfish is gone. Hopefully it's swimming back down there near the bottom. Because basically if you didn't do that, what would happen is that fish would just float along the surface and eventually die. It wouldn't make it back down to the bottom. Some birds or something will eat it. So anyways, that's why they require it, to give that fish the best chance at survival. There's sand dab. Where are your bigger cousins? Oh, where to next? So, I don't fish this area very often, so I'm basically relying on my navionics to basically target some areas, and I'm doing some exploring at the same time, but I'm trying to figure out what depth would be ideal for this fish, and obviously I haven't caught any yet, so I don't know for sure, but I'm just basing it based off of what other people have told me and what I've heard through the grapevine. And currently none of that is working so far, but we're going to continue on. I'm trying to figure out if I think I'm going to go a little shallower. I'm at 200 feet. I basically tried everything from 200 to 300 feet. Let's go try we'll go try 175. Oh, what am I doing? I almost just reeled regularly. I need to use this electric thing. We'll turn it off for a second. Yeah, I tried everything from 200 to 300. Let's go try 175 for a little bit, and then if that doesn't work, we'll go to like 150. And then if that doesn't work, we'll start working our way back out deep, I guess. But anyway, on the bright side, man, we could not have asked for a better weather day. I'm like a few miles offshore and you wouldn't even be able to tell. It's like a lake out here. No wind, very little swell, and yeah, it's just amazing out here. I haven't seen very many days like this out on the water. So anyway, good weather, but we're still looking for the fish. Definitely not fighting. Oh, give him some. It's fighting. What is it? No, it's just a big sand dab. There's something. Okay. Ooh. That feels a little better. Shaking his head a little bit. I feel like that's bigger than the last one that we got, and the last one was a decent sized sand dab, so maybe. Cross my fingers, come on, we need this. Coming up, 70, 60, 50. 35, 20, still feel it on there, 10, oh, it's looking, yes, this is what we were looking for. Oh, it's a good one too. Oh, don't you spit that hook. Don't you spit that hook. Oh my God. Don't you spit that hook. If he falls off, I'm gonna jump in after him. Oh, no. Yes! Oh, we did it! Yes, finally! Finally! Alright, that's what we've been looking for right there. Finally got him. It kind of looks like a halibut, but it's not a halibut. That is a petrale sole, which is kind of in between sand dab and halibut, I would say. Definitely in terms of size. You can see this is that last sand dab that we caught. And you can see the difference there. Sand dab, petrale sole. And you can tell it's not a halibut. It looks a little bit different. I think it's a little more round than a halibut is. The tail is also rounded on the back here. And halibut have this dotted line on the underside of their belly along the lateral line that has a little hump on the near the pectoral fin here, which this one doesn't have. It's just a clear white belly with a kind of a faded line, I guess. The halibut is really dark. That is what I've been looking for all day, and this is not the first day I've come out here to try and do this. I've done this a few times. A couple of times I gave up and looked for other fish. A couple of times I just didn't make it to the video because I didn't catch anything. But finally I got one. And these are very, very good eating. I've had them a couple times, but not in a long time. I'm looking forward to filleting this one up and eating it. Man, this one's gonna be really, really nice. I'm gonna get a couple of really nice fillets on it. Very tender white meat, kind of a very mild fish, so you can kind of flavor it to taste however you want to. And another difference between the halibut and these is these don't have teeth. If this is a halibut, I would not be sticking my finger in the mouth there, because the halibut have really needle point-like teeth. These are more like sandpaper. And boom! Where there's one, there should be more. So I'm gonna take care of this one. We're gonna bleed him, bonk him, put him in the ice chest, and then hopefully we can find some more. And for whatever reason, not a lot of people like to target these. Maybe because they're not very big. You gotta have to work a lot harder for a little bit less meat. Probably because they're so dang deep down there. But luckily we have the electric reel. But anyway, because they're not fished very much, there's no regulation on these. No size limit, no take limit. So we're gonna get back down there. Where there's one, there's likely more. Finally, oh finally. I waited a long time for this one. All right, that's the official real first fish that I've caught. I can't really count that sand dab, even though it is technically a fish. It wasn't what I was looking for. I've officially put blood on the kayak. Oh man, all the way to the last spot too. One final hope, never give up. Yeah, I could tell right away when I hooked that one it was heavier than the sand dab. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think that's another one. I think we got another one. Come on. Ooh. It's struggling. It's struggling. Maybe we have two. Oh my gosh. What happened here? Something good. There's two on here? 10. Here it comes. Yep. Oh my gosh, it's even bigger than the last one. Look at this thing. Fatty. Yeah. Look at that one. Even bigger. Or is that a halibut? No, that's a sole. Look at that one. That might be a different kind of sole. Looks a little different than the last one, but it's definitely not halibut because it doesn't have that line underneath that I was talking about last time. But yeah, I think this is a little bit, I think this is a different kind of sole because the tail looks different. It's not like a halibut tail, but it's also not like that petrolly sole tail that I just got in the last one. Man, that's a big one. That's like close to halibut size. Let's measure it. So all soles in California don't have size requirements, but man, that's a big one. 19 inches. 19 and a half almost. That's gotta be, it might be close to record, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's a big one. I'm gonna get out the other one that I caught last, the previous one, yeah. So you can see the difference between the two. I mean, just look at the pattern and shape. This one's more halibut shaped and this one's more rounded. I wanted to make a quick note really quick. I did some research after fishing on this day, and it turns out that the one on the left, which is the second one that I caught, that one is in fact a petrolly sole. And the one on the right, the first one that I caught, that one in fact is not a petrolly sole. I believe that one is a rock sole. So just wanted to clarify that. Finally, we found him. We found the honey hole. And same thing with this one, man. I can tell it's not a halibut because it doesn't have the teeth like a halibut would. Man, if it was a real halibut, I would not be sticking my fingers in there. But yeah, that's a beauty. We're gonna get some nice fillets off of these guys. It's getting a little windy, so we're gonna head in now. But man, that last drift really paid off for us. Got us a couple of really nice sole, which is exactly what I came out here for this morning. It took me a while to get them, but we got them. And I'm gonna head in here. I'll talk to you once we get inside the harbor. A couple of things I noticed with this kayak. If you're just new to the channel, or maybe you just found this video, this is the second time that I've taken this particular kayak out, and I'm kind of comparing it to some of my older kayaks that I've used in the past. Back in the harbor, what a wonderful day it was out there. Man, what a difference one drift can make. But anyway, just wanted to talk a little bit about the kayak. One thing that I'm noticing is that the hull design on this kayak is totally different from the last kayak, which is my Old Town Sportsman Autopilot. If you didn't watch the last video, check it out. I kind of learned the hard way that this kayak is not quite as stable as my Old Town Autopilot was. And a lot of that has to do with the hull design. This design is totally different, and it also relates to a couple of new things that I'm going to talk about in this video. One thing I mentioned in the last one is that this thing goes much faster. It can get up to 5 miles an hour, even more if you're pushing it really hard. Whereas my Autopilot, the max was like 3.5 miles an hour, so quite a bit different. And that definitely helped me on my way back in today. I mean, I'd still be out there if I was on the Autopilot. But another thing I noticed is that it doesn't stay as true as the Autopilot. What I mean by that is, even if I'm pointed, you know, straight and I'm steering straight and I'm on motor, especially when I'm on the higher levels, like level 5, which is the max speed, it tends to kind of sway back and forth and turn a lot easier than the Autopilot would. I think that's because the Autopilot has this like tri-hull design, and this one is just kind of like almost a flat bottom. You know, it's a little rounded, but there's no grooves or anything in there to kind of keep that kayak moving straight. And so I think that's another reason why it's a little bit more tippy than the other kayak, because it's pretty much the same width. It's 36 inches across, I believe, which is pretty much the same, if not exactly the same, as the Autopilot was. Another reason why I think it doesn't stay true as well as my Autopilot is also because I'm moving faster, which is also kind of ties into the hull design. It's all kind of related. But because I'm moving faster and the hull design's a little different, it tends to kind of sway back and forth. So I really have to keep on it with my hand here, steering back and forth to make sure I go in the direction that I'm wanting to go. Which, you know, obviously it's nice to go a little bit faster. A little bit of a drawback that it kind of doesn't steer as straight as my old kayak did. But as with anything, there's always going to be positive and negatives with any difference between kayaks. But that's just one thing I noticed. Oh, and one other thing I tested out today was the battery capacity. Because this battery is so much smaller than the one on my Autopilot, I was a little concerned that it wouldn't be able to handle, you know, going as far and as fast. But today I pretty much hardly pedaled at all. It was mostly done by the motor, and I was doing it at full speed for the majority of the time. I want to say it was probably under power for a good 3 to 4 hours on max speed, and obviously it's still running right now, level 5. There's also a battery monitor on the unit here, so according to this there's about 25% left. And because this is the EPDL system, once that battery kicks out, I can still use the pedal system, you know, like you would on any other pedal kayak. So I'm not really as concerned as I was before about the battery running out, but I really wanted to test it. We went pretty far today. I probably covered close to 10 miles, if not more. So yeah, super happy with the way it performed. And just another thing I was testing out on this new kayak. That's all for now. If you have any questions about the kayak or really anything, leave a comment down in the comment section below. I'm always checking those. And as I test out the new kayak, if there's any questions or concerns that you all have, I'd be happy to address them in a future video. But anyway, I got sole on my mind. We'll be looking up some good sole recipes for dinner tonight. My mouth is already watering. Looking forward to that meal. Something that a different kind of fish that I haven't eaten in a while. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Appreciate the view. And we'll see you on the next adventure.